There's something I read many, many years ago. It was the first chapter of the book by Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Maybe you ever read that book or know of that book. Raise your hand. Okay. It's a classic book, been around for years and years. Okay, Stephen Covey, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Covey, I think C-O-N-V-E-Y, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what the 6 habits are. I read the first habit and I go, wow, this is mind-blowing. I put the book down and I started practicing it and I never picked it up again. Just being honest. If you go, wow, I like habit number 3, I don't know what it is. Okay. But I do know the first habit. The first habit is even a little more extreme than not needing to be understood, okay, or to be agreed upon, which is learn to be agreeable. Learn to be agreeable. Wow, this situation is really terrible. Yeah, I can see how that's terrible. I can see what you mean. Well, this thing tastes like crap. Well, oh yeah, okay, I can see how I can taste kind of weird. Even if you don't totally agree with what they're saying, learning to be agreeable means you don't have to go and just share your perspective constantly. You don't have to prove your point of view, which is what most people do. And they're always creating conflicts. And they always find themselves trying to convince somebody of something. And it's very exhausting. When you practice this first agreement, or this first tip, now you end up picking your fights, which is another perspective of saying the same thing. Pick your fights. You don't need to go ahead and have conflicts with every single person, every single scenario, because you don't agree. So you do the opposite. Learn to be agreeable. So this way, you don't need to go ahead and convince somebody of your perspective. You know your perspective, but do you really need this person to see it in your way? Why? What are they going to do that actually matters to you, that you need them to see it in your way? If it matters, right, you're working with a team member, you guys need to see it in the same way so you guys can execute on a certain project, right? If they're painting it red and you're painting it blue, it's going to look all messed up. It needs to be one color. Fine. You guys need to come to an agreement. But how often are we spending so much energy to try to get people to agree and understand us when it doesn't even matter? Okay, so that one rule, that one tip I learned many years ago has helped a lot. Learn to be agreeable.